Let's try this. All right, so hopefully that sound is not bad. You guys in the comment section, just let me know. Let me know if that sounds too much. It is like 95 degrees where I'm at right now, and my air conditioner's not working, so that thing in the window is the only thing keeping me alive right now. But if it's really that annoying, we'll turn it off. Channel comes first, but I'm hoping I turned it down as low as it can go with it still pushing some air out. I'm hoping because this is directed more towards me and I turned the gain down that hopefully you guys can't hear it that much. But I'm not sure because I'm not on the other end. So you guys let me know. But what is going on, Pats Nation? You guys already know who it is. Patriots Global here back with another one. It has been a minute. It has been a minute, my friends, and I'm extremely sorry. I'm more sorry than sorry could ever be explained. I let you guys know on my community tab, hey, I was on vacation. Probably should have let you guys know that before I actually went on vacation. It was a little unexpected, which is why it wasn't really something that was, exactly planned, at least for a while. So wasn't really expecting, things to go as they did. Obviously, things a little bit dead here in the world of the NFL, even with our New England Patriots right now. One of the worst times in the NFL, just because of how dead it is. So I do apologize for that. I do apologize for being inactive. I did post a video yesterday or I guess technically today, just really, really early, where I talk about some of the standouts, some of my winners, some of my losers, because you guys love that series that I started a couple of years ago for Patriots minicamp specifically. So if you do want to get some more information on the guys this offseason, I've covered all of the OTA practices. I covered the 3-day mandatory minicamp, and I did a winners and losers video. So this is your place to get all of the news on the New England Patriots and know, hey, how are our guys performing, the new guys, roster battles, everything. We got you covered here. But let's get to some of these comments. Can y'all hear? Y'all let me know. Y'all let me know. It's not muted on any of my stuff. So let your boy know. You can hear? All right, Neil. Thank you, buddy. I appreciate it. I was kind of rolling in the dark there for a second. I saw some people saying they couldn't hear. So, oh, wait, hold up. I think y'all meant you couldn't hear that. Okay, that's my bad. Y'all. Also, don't even look at my skin. Went to the beach, right? We're going to get into football here for a second. Went to the beach. Again, not expected. Went to the beach for a few days. Wasn't sure how long I was going to be there. Didn't have time to get anything together. This was like, oh, guess we're going out the door. Didn't have like actual face, like sunscreen, right? Because, hey, whether you burn or not, protect your body from potential skin cancer. I don't burn, but sunscreen, my friends, because skin cancer, not worth it. Not worth it at all. But I didn't get actual face moisturizer, so I was spraying my face with this stuff, and I knew that there was gonna be an issue. Joshua, what is going on? No loves in the building. Aldolfo, what is going on? Wyatt, Kinkado 21. How do I say this? Incendium? Incendium? Jake, bro, what is going on? The People's Republic of China. Neil Ray. Cody. Hopefully some more people pop in. Squid Nerd. Crispy. Jake, I will check it out. I know that Wednesday I have a video collaboration. Yes, you guys heard it here first. I do have a video collaboration with JT Sports. JT Sports, I'll be on his channel talking about New England and leading up to training camp. So I will let you guys know when that video is out. Wednesday is that expected collab. But if I don't have anything, yeah, I got you. Light Shadows. I got to put the thumbnail on here real quick. Hopefully that gives people a little bit more time to roll in here. Guys, if you know anybody that watches the channel, make sure you guys let them know that we are going live. I know a lot of people are like, shoot, didn't know you were going live. So I did try to post on the community tab. I did try to send out a text message to everybody, letting them know that we are going live. So hopefully people got the memo. But I know people will roll in as we continue to go on here. So, as people come in, continue to drop your questions, guys, that you have. We're going to be talking about Cam Newton, Mac Jones a little bit, like the title says, but also really this is just chill out, catch up, answer some questions, have a great time like usual. So go ahead and flood the box with just overall the questions that you guys are having. And I will pick the good discussion questions. But yeah, no, like the past, week, maybe 2 weeks, it's just been a little inactive in the NFL, or very inactive in the NFL, which has kind of led to the channel being a little inactive. And I hate it, guys. I hate it. I hate it. I hate it. I also work outside of here, and I hate that so much. Like, I'm thinking I'm just going to quit the job I have outside of here. I want to do this like full-time, almighty, go straight in. Guys, I really, 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 really want to get more into Patreon. We only have a few Patreon members, and I know that we can easily blow up on Patreon. I know that a lot of people would subscribe to the Patreon. We just got to get it going. And I just have a lot of great ideas for the Patreon coming up. I have to have the time to get everything together, update the website, just everything. But honestly, like if we can get Patreon going, if we can get the channel popping, and I can make a good income and not have to work, like we are just going to be doing more on the channel because this can be my main focus. All right, got the thumbnail. At least I think so. Yeah. All right, we're going to start answering some questions here. Let's see. Let's find a good one. Let's start this off right. All right, there we go. There we go. I like that thumbnail. I like it. I like it. K-Swag, what is going on, my guy? Y'all can tell I've been at the beach. You can just tell. Alrighty, let me. All right, scroll here. Got to get to our first dono. Reggie P. Reggie P, the first one. I appreciate you, Reggie. Thank you for being the first donator, kicking this baby off right. Hopefully one of many here as we hopefully have a bigger stream. Right now, only about 26, 29 people in the chat. Usually that number skyrockets. Hopefully at some point that will rise and we'll get, a bigger audience here. But I've been a little inactive just because nothing's been happening the last week to two. So YouTube's probably going to punish me and knock down my SEO there a little bit. But again, Reggie, I really, really appreciate that donation. It helps me out tremendously. You have no idea. But you said over and under on Cam pass touchdowns at 20. and Russ touchdowns at 10, assuming he plays the whole season. I would say this would be more tough if you swapped them. I think he'll still have likely more rushing touchdowns. If Cam Newton's going, like, we have to understand that, hey, the Patriots are going to be a better passing team overall in the 2021 season for sure. You don't get the acquisitions of Hunter Henry, Jonnu Smith, Kendrick Bourne, Nelson Aguilar for nothing, right? But you still have to understand the strengths of Cam Newton. Although we did get a much vamped offense, probably the best offense Cam Newton has ever had in his entire career, he still is not that, 2015 version of Cam Newton when they went to the Super Bowl. That's not him. That version of Cam Newton is never going to come back. And the Cam Newton you see is the Cam Newton that you have. And of course, I do think that he will be better in this upcoming season in the passing game. But at the end of the day, his accuracy, the throwing the balls at the receiver's feet, throwing them, 5 yards past them, that's not on the receivers. Whether you have Julio Jones or you have Damiere Byrd, as your number one, number two receiver out on the field, and that's your target, if you're going to throw the ball like that, I don't care who the receiver is, it's not going to catch it. It's not going to matter. So overall, I do think they're going to play with Cam's strengths still. Like, you're not going to see Cam Newton go from running the ball, let's say 15 to 20 times a game, right? And let's say he's going to have 20 pass attempts. You're not going to see those pass attempts skyrocket and his rush and his mobility take a dip. That's not what's going to happen. That's, again, never been Cam Newton nor Cam Newton's playing style. So you're still going to see what you did this past season. You're going to see a lot of RPOs. You're going to see a lot of Cam Newton running the ball himself. They really, really, really wanted to vamp that running game too. So I think everybody's very focused on this passing game because it's so revamped up that they're not completely understanding that this is still going to be a run-first Patriots offense. Cam Newton at quarterback, mobility, running quarterback. The backfield the Patriots have and are still trying to establish, the offensive line that they tried to bolster, they're still going to be a run-first offense, but they want to be able to pass the ball and make it a little less predictable. They want to be a little bit more versatile in the game. And, hey, if they're down and they need to rush the ball down the field, they want to be able to pass that ball. But at the end of the day, if you want to be successful and Cam Newton is your starting quarterback, the way at being successful is going to be by running the ball and playing to his strengths, which has always been as a mobile quarterback, never as a passing quarterback. So overall, to answer your question here, Reggie, I do believe that he'll have, I think he's still going to have less than 20 overall touchdowns throwing, just because he had, I forget what the number is exactly off the top of my head here. Let me look for you actually. But I know it was only a few. Yeah, Cam Newton only threw, don't know why they did not like that. All right. Cam Newton only threw for 8 touchdowns. Newton only threw for 8 touchdowns this past season. I don't see him doubling that all of a sudden. Even more than doubling, because only 8. So I still think that he will have more throwing touchdowns overall, but I don't think that it is going to be more than 20. So I would say under that, but I do think that, how many rushing touchdowns does he have? Is that something they're going to show me? I forget exactly how much rushing touchdowns he had, so it'd be really great if they could show me that. He had 12. He had 12 overall rushing touchdowns this past season. I'm gonna go with over. I think that 10's a good number. And that's probably around the range, but if we're going to talk about over or under that number, I'm going to say over. in the end, I think, like I said, this is still going to be a run-first Patriots offense. Those running backs are still going to take a lot of the attention away. Once you get to the red zone, you are still going to see James White, Sony Michel, Damian Harris. They're still going to try to punch that ball in with the running game, not so much the passing game, because once you hit that red zone, if you're 5-10 yards away, it gets really, really, really cramped. And if you have a quarterback who is not accurate, you are asking, just asking for a mistake to happen, which is ultimately why I think that this past season, the Patriots ran the ball 85% of the time once you got to the red zone, because you knew Cam Newton already has issues throwing the ball. Now everything's tightening up because you're in the red zone. You're asking for that mistake to happen. So ultimately, I'll go under on the passing touchdowns, over on the rushing touchdowns. All right. Light Shadows, real quick, just makes an excellent point. He says, "Yo, Pass Global, can we get everyone to smack that like button?" Hey, yo, if Light Shadows is gonna say it, I think we got to do it. I think everybody got to smash that like button. It helps me out tremendously, guys, if you would do that. For you, he said, though, for you, what veteran do you think might be a surprise cut for this year? 53-man roster. My guess would be Bolden or Jakob Johnson. I think you make excellent points just straight off the bat. I think you make two excellent points that I don't disagree with. I think that Jakob Johnson has the potential to get cut. I think it depends on what the Patriots want to do fullback wise. Jakob Johnson, he's going to be a good lead blocker. He's a very good lead blocker. That's it. That's all he's going to bring for you. As where, hey, if you try to get maybe a Dalton Keene mixed in there, he's not going to be as good of a blocker, but he's also going to give you that ability as, another pass catcher on the field at that fullback position, which is something Jakob Johnson really doesn't necessarily give you that much. So, ultimately, I think that it all depends on which route the Patriots kind of want to go, because they're two very polar opposite ones. So I think that is something to watch. I think Bolden is another guy that is potentially on the outside looking in. I've gone back and forth with myself on him making this roster just because, hey, Rex Burkhead's gone, and you don't really have somebody who is going to replace what he did on special teams. Rex Burkhead and Brandon Bolden were two key pieces to the Patriots special teams, and they still have several other special teamers, do not get me wrong. But Rex Burkhead and Brandon Bolden have been key pieces to that over the last several years. You already lost one of those guys. Do you really want to lose two? I also think that Brandon Bolden is a really good, number 3 to number 4 running back for the Patriots, a switch of momentum, rather, if you will, a power back. And this is something I've always said. I've always said the Patriots need to use Brandon Bolden more as a running back. They use him in preseason. They use him sometimes in the beginning of the regular season, and he shows potential. He shows flashes. Is he going to be a top 20 running back in the league? No, that's not what I'm saying. But what I am saying is that he still can very much get the job done, be a good change pace running back. The Patriots gave Mike Gillislee several chances. I'd rather have Brandon Bolden in the mix than a Mike Gillislee 10 out of 10 times. And I think this is something they realized after he went to the Miami Dolphins. So I think they do think a little bit more of Brandon Bolden. But again, in the end, if you have to choose between a Brandon Bolden or a JJ Taylor, yeah, you have to go with JJ Taylor. So I think you make two really good points there. Let me look up the exact roster. Just because I do want to make sure I have everybody accounted for. So I think there's guys that might not necessarily be cut, but it's more of a trade. I think there's more guys that we could talk about in a potential trade rather than guys just getting straight up cut. But if we're really talking about guys just getting straight up cut, I think another guy to watch here is it depends on what you want to consider a veteran, but he's been in the league for multiple years now, so it isn't considered a rookie. But he is still young, but Byron Cowart, I think I think he's on the outside looking in, and I think that's something that a lot of people don't necessarily put into account is, hey, Byron Cowart, oh my God, like he's still on the team, and he's kind of been, I don't want to say a key piece, but he's been more of a starting piece the last couple of seasons because of the lack of depth there. But what the Patriots did this offseason puts that into an entirely different perspective. I mean, Lawrence Guy, Devon Godchow, those are your two starting D tackles. Dietrich Wise plays a lot in the interior of the Patriots defensive line also. Henry Anderson, another guy. Christian Barmore, who is easily, hands down, way more talented than Byron Cowart. Easily one of the best all-around defensive tackles the Patriots have on their roster. I mean, he's a guy that I think could be on, again, the outside looking in. Lawrence Guy, Devon Godchow, Henry Anderson, Dietrich Wise, Christian Barmore. That's 5 guys that you already have. Are they really going to keep 6 interior defensive linemen? I don't see it happening, and I really do believe that Byron Cowart is on the outside looking in, like I mentioned. And with him not really being there in OTAs much, I know he wasn't there in minicamp. I think he was dealing with an injury, if I remember correctly. It's just not a good look for him, and I don't see him making that next leap. I think they would love to have him back on the practice squad. I do think that he could potentially be taken by another team, though, as a starting piece. And I do have Byron Cowart being a cut that is a little bit more surprising for some people than others. I also would love to pull up. We are accidentally playing our theme song. So forgive me on that. Things are slow right now in this computer, so guys, just hang tight for me with just 1 second. I want to make sure I don't miss anything. Donos, nothing. All right. Come on. Hopefully we aren't really lagging here. Come on. All right, just gonna go back here. But let's see what else we got. I see a lot of Cam questions. Here is a question that I think could be a little good, but bit of a starting, or not starting piece, rather just talking piece. Olszewski or Zuber, better OTA and minicamp? I'm gonna go like more surprising. I would say Zuber. I think they both had very good camps, but I think overall, like, who's going to be the better one? Like, it's a little too early to say. Once training camp comes along, that is when we put stock in. That is when I'm like, hey, if Zuber's doing better, I mean, he's clearly the better one. Either way, if Zuber makes this roster, Olszewski doesn't automatically not make the roster. For what he did as a return man, he's a lock to make this roster. He's only getting better as a receiver. Talking about Olszewski here, but I think Zuber has just shown things in year two, a tremendous leap from what we saw in year one. So I would definitely say Zuber is the more surprising player so far. But they've both been just excellent so far. And I'm super excited to see both, but I'm more excited to see Zuber because could he push Harry out? I mean, that's the discussion. Go up a little bit. Okay, so here's another very good question. What's going on with Mr. Chase Winovich? So I ask myself that same question, not at minicamp, not at mandatory minicamp. You hear so much rumbles about potential trade candidate. Started to worry me a lot. Not going to say it doesn't worry me still, but from what I've heard from Greg Bedard is more so that's kind of an injury. I don't know when he got injured, what in God's name happened. He seemed fine in OTAs and then randomly just wasn't there for minicamp, and no one said anything about a potential injury. So I'm not sure when that occurred, but from what I understand, did suffer from an injury, so it was an excused absence for mandatory minicamp. He is expected to be here in training camp to start. He should be perfectly fine. He posted on Twitter the other day, tweeting about how he loves being a Patriot. So I don't know. It might be a little bit overhyped, the whole he doesn't fit New England and he needs to be traded and Belichick is going to kick him out and his personality doesn't mesh well with New England. I definitely believe where there's smoke, there's fire, and there definitely is something there. I don't think that you can deny that something is a little bit off. But I do think it is a little bit hyped up. This is not Antonio Brown with the Patriots or the Raiders or the Steelers. Like, it's not that type of situation. I think Winovich wants to be here, but the question is he going to let what he wants and that just personality get in the way of kind of what they do here in New England? And I think that's going to be the real telling question. I do think that if the Patriots do trade Winovich, now is going to be the time to do it. This is when you're going to get the most out of a potential trade for him. What are you going to get? I think they could get a mid-round pick. You're not going to get a first or a second. You'd be lucky to get a third back that you gave up for him. But I think the Patriots know that Winovich is a good player. Supposedly he put on some weight. He wants to set the edge better, which hopefully he can. He's always been good at getting to the quarterback. It's stopping the run that really hinders him. With the depth that the Patriots added, it does concern me with, hey, how's he going to get on the field and is he going to be okay with it? But I do believe, like, if the Patriots played him more, that sack total would be much, much higher. But it all comes down because he seems so one-dimensional that he's just going to be a transitional piece rather than, hey, if you can stop the run, you're going to be a bigger piece. But as of right now, he's not doing that. And with the new additions and the emergence of Josh Uche, who can stop the run and also get to the quarterback, like, I don't know. I love Winovich. He's easily one of my top 3 favorite Patriots players right now. So I hope they keep him. I think he has tremendous potential that the Patriots just can continue to unlock. I'm just hoping that he doesn't get in the way of himself, for lack of better words, because I really do want to see him stick around. And just that personality, you love to see it since Gronk left, especially. Yeah, man. There we go. Reggie P is back at it again with another dono. Everybody give it up for Reggie. Reggie is the king of the chat so far. So nothing but love. Nothing but love to Reggie. So where is it? Okay. But Reggie, you said, who leads the Patriots in receiving yards? It's a very good question. In receiving yards, and who leads in rushing yards besides Harris? Okay. So if we're going to talk about receiving, I'm going to go with Jacoby Myers. I'm just going to continue to roll with Jacoby. Not necessarily saying that he is going to be thrusted into the number one role. I think that they still want Aguilar to be that number one guy. But just because you are thrusted into that number one role doesn't mean you're going to end the season the most successful. You know what I'm saying? It's just you're lined up as the number one guy. If Mac Jones is a starting quarterback, I think this becomes a different story. But I'm projecting Cam to start. How far does he go? We'll just have to see how training camp goes and then kind of just go on from there. But with having having Cam Newton as a starting quarterback in mind, the connections that he has with Jacoby Myers, the familiarity he has with Jacoby Myers. In the Patriots system, already on the field for the 2020 season, they built chemistry each and every single week as the game just went on. And that just helped Jacoby Myers out entirely. You know, I think that these new guys are going to help and they're going to give Jacoby a run for his money, definitely. But at the end of the day, like Nelson Aguilar, Kendrick Bourne, Hunter Henry, Jonnu Smith, they're all new. They're all new guys. They have to build that chemistry still. I think they've definitely started, but they're not there yet. And I guarantee you that they are not where Jacoby and Cam currently are. And, you know, Jacoby and Cam, they had to build that chemistry throughout the season. So you didn't really see that emergence of Jacoby till, you know, mid-season. So I think it's going to take time for Cam to build a connection with the rest of these guys. But as for Jacoby, already has that connection starting straight off the bat week one. So I think Jacoby's going to have a big season because of that chemistry. When in doubt, I think Newton's going to go to Jacoby like he did this past year. And Jacoby's just getting better and better. So I think that Jacoby ultimately is he's going to lead the Patriots here in receiving yards for the 2021 season. I think he also led them this season, right? It's either him or Burp. I think it was Jacoby. As for rushing besides Harris, yeah, obviously Damian Harris is going to be your number one running back. He's going to lead you in rushing yards. So he's going to be number one. Besides him, though, I'm going to say Sony. I think Sony Michel does stick around ultimately, at least right now. I've been going back and forth with myself. I do still think that he could be trade bait. I still think that there's a chance he could be traded, and I'm not putting that off the table or out of the chances at all. Do not get me wrong about that one. Excuse me, but just thinking about all the new pieces they added, thinking the fact that they bolstered the offensive line and they bolstered the running back core, like they do still want to be a run-first team. Sony Michel is still a very good running back. He's a good change of pace. He's a good, 1-2 punch next to Damian Harris. And he's coming off one of his better seasons. A very, very, very good year 3. Didn't have a great year 2, an excellent year 1. I'm thinking that here for year 4, he's going to be good. He's going to be a good player, especially now that the Patriots aren't giving him 90% of the carries. I think he'll be more refreshed, and I think that he's going to be that second running back. JJ Taylor, an honorable mention. I'm just not completely sure how exactly they're going to use him just yet, and if they want to use him as the second overall running back, that just depends on how things go. And if JJ Taylor beats out Sony Michel as the number 2 guy, then at this point, I think it's a good chance that Sony Michel possibly does get traded. But again, as of right now, I'm going to say he doesn't get traded, and he's number 2 here for the Pats. I'm going to give it a second to catch up because I think we're lagging a little. I swear, every time I go live, that's when That's when things get worse. Real quick, I want to take a pause for the cause here. Oh, that's not what I meant. Where is it? Here we go. One second. We are so slow right now. It's unbelievable. I'm going to get into all the donos, guys, so do not worry about that. I promise I'm getting to them in just 1 second. I just want this to catch up, so don't worry. I see you guys. I'm getting to you guys. Do not worry. Patreon, though. Patreon, if you want to get more benefits from the channel, if you guys want to support the channel, $10 a month. $10 a month, that's all that costs you. That is not even a coffee a day. Not even a coffee a day, guys. And you're supporting the channel. You're getting more content. You're getting benefits. You're getting into a Discord chat with me and other Patriots fans where it is literally constant updates and rumors about the New England Patriots. It's excellent. It's fun. And when we actually get more of an audience, more Patreon members, we'll be doing Patreon only member live streams. So it's going to be very condensed with only the Patreon members. So more benefits here coming on Patreon soon that I've been thinking of. So if you guys do want to support the channel, go to my latest video, click the link in the description. There's always a link in every single video that I post to the Patreon. And like I said, $10 a month, you support the channel easily, just like a Netflix or a Hulu. You get things in return and it helps me out tremendously. But all right. I think we're not lagging now, so that did help. We got Bill's Mafia on the chat. Oh God. I still love though. I still love. I'm not gonna be that guy. Okay. My boy Viral is also here. Viral, a long-time supporter of the channel. What is going on, Viral? I appreciate you. I appreciate the donation. And you said, hey, Colby, do you think our team is being underlooked by other teams? Also, how are you? I am good, bro. Just got back from an unexpected beach trip. A long couple weeks, just so long. Tired, but I'm excited to be here. I'm excited to be back. I hate being inactive. I hate not being here. It's just, it does not feel right at all. Do I think we're being underlooked by teams? I do. I definitely do, especially from what I've seen with record predictions and all on social media about the Patriots. We're definitely underlooked, but I think you have to understand why. It's not so much that teams don't think the Patriots are talented. It's more so people don't want to believe that the Patriots are talented. When Tom Brady was here, people just said how he was washed up. He was going to be nothing. And clearly that's just a bunch of BS, right? People are still going to do that with the Patriots. I mean, the past couple decades, this has been America's team. This has been America's team. This has been the team in the NFL, the best team in the NFL for so long. And you hate to see it. I mean, as a Patriots fan, like, I'm already done with the Kansas City Chiefs. I'm done seeing them in the Super Bowl and Pat Mahomes. Like, I'm just like, okay, this is overdone. This is overdue. And it's because it's not my team. If this was the Patriots, I'd be like, keep it going. But like, it's not. And I think that's what we fail to realize is that we're finally seeing with the Chiefs what it's been like for people on the outside looking in. Like, that's what we're doing. We're on the outside looking in. Like, this is what it's like for people to watch the Patriots over the last couple of, decades. So I do think we are being underlooked, but at the end of the day, over or underlooking the team is not going to dictate how they perform. Again, Viral, I do appreciate you, and I appreciate that dono, my guy. All right, on to the next one. Felipe. Love that name. I believe I said that I believe I said that to you before, actually, that I love that name. But Felipe, thank you for being here. And thank you for that donation, supporting me, supporting the channel. Undying love for all of you guys who are donating, and just all of you in general, but especially y'all who are going that extra mile. But you said, how is it looking with Stefan Gilmore? Is he staying? Is he leaving? I feel like he's still worth at least $17 million. Wow, $17 million. So as of right now, obviously we don't know what's going on. I have heard from sources that kind of behind the scenes, people, they're not saying a contract is going to be done, but they're saying a contract is going to be done, basically. I mean, I'm not saying, hey, expect a contract to actually happen, but from what I'm hearing and the vibes I'm getting, I really believe that Stefan Gilmore is going to be back with the Patriots. Is it going to be a multi-year contract extension, or is it going to be giving him more money for this season? I don't know. I do hope it's an extension. I really hope it's an extension. But I do believe that at least for 2021, he's going to be with the Patriots. I mean, Stefan Gilmore is still one of the best players New England has, period. Not just defense, not just secondary, but just period. And after everything Belichick did to lose a caliber player of Stefan Gilmore, that hurts the Patriots tough. That immediately hurts New England. You're thrusting J.C. Jackson into a number one role. You know, you're thrusting somebody else from number 3 to number 2, and now you have to find another number 3 guy because Jason left, and it's just it causes so much concern now for your secondary. And after everything you did to that front 7, like, your defense is deadly. You're going to shut everybody down. But if your secondary is going to be messed up now, you're kind of not going necessarily backwards, but you're not going to progress as well as you would have with all of your offseason acquisitions as you would if, again, you kept that secondary intact. Over the last several years, the Patriots and Belichick, they have prioritized covering when it comes to defense rather than pressure and sacking the quarterback. This offseason, they really established that pass rush, stopping the run, and just ultimately that defensive line. And now we have question marks about that secondary. If you can bolster both of those, I mean, this is the potential to be the best defense I think we've ever seen in the Bill Belichick era. But again, that all comes down to Stefan Gilmore. If you cannot keep Gilly Lock, I think it's a much bigger loss and a harder loss that we will see come the regular season than a lot of people are going to give this credit for. And again, I think that you keep your secondary intact, it's only going to help out your defensive line easily because guys are going to be covered and the quarterback's going to need more time to let guys get open. And with the defensive line that, you know, we've progressed this offseason, that we've had via acquisitions, I think that it's going to be tremendous. And just getting rid of Stefan Gilmore just seems like a backwards move here for the Patriots defensively. And again, with what Belichick did money-wise, it would not be smart. So I do think that he does stay with the Patriots. As for $17 million, I could see it. I don't know if I would say at least $17 million. I think that's a lot still for a corner who's coming off, you know, not a good season, but not a great season compared to what he had being the defensive player of the year prior, season-ending injury. A lot of question marks, but I do still think he's worth, you know, at least $15 million for sure, hands down. So at the end of the day, I don't care what Belichick gives him. If we can keep him, I trust it, and I'm happy. Shout out to Keaton McNair. I believe I said that right. I apologize if I butchered that first one, but I believe I did say that right. I appreciate you for the dono. I appreciate that super sticker, and I appreciate you for going the extra mile, supporting me, supporting the channel. Again, undying love for you. It means the world to me that you guys are just helping me, you know, make a living and just help you guys out and helping me out. Like I really just will never find the words. Thank you guys, and just to let you know how much that means to me. So again, thank you guys. King Cato back in the building. What's going on, my guy? You said, oh, by the way, thank you for the donation. Very, very, very much appreciate it. Another longtime viewer. with what you said about Cam's accuracy, do you see Belichick using Jones in situational? Wow. Okay, this is a good question. Do you see Belichick using Mac Jones in a situational red zone appearances? Great question, but I don't think this is going to be a Taysom Hill, Drew Brees situation where you're gonna see different guys come in and different like. It's just gonna mess with them. It's gonna mess with the development of Mac Jones. It's going to mess with the confidence of Cam Newton. It's so confusing. You know what I'm saying? Like it never works out doing that. It never works out with, the Dolphins this past year. There were other teams that have done this too, who it's not clicking right now. I think the Broncos did this. Did the Broncos do this when Drew Lock came in? I don't remember exactly, but I feel like they did. You sit Cam back there for as long as you can, and if you really want to roll with Mac Jones, then you roll with Mac Jones and you start him. You don't just put him in, at the red zone and be like, hey, here's your learning opportunity. Now, if they're winning or they're losing terribly and they want to throw him in for some garbage time, I'm totally cool with that. Do him, let him finish out the game. But to throw him into just certain situations because, hey, we're in the red zone, we're playing a team with a good defense and defensive backs. We need a guy with better accuracy. Let's put Mac Jones in. I don't know. I'm not a fan of that. Like I said, it can hinder development and confidence. Put him in when he's ready. Don't just throw him out there to throw him out there. Again, though, thank you for the donation. Much obliged. See what else we got going on here in the chat. I am totally getting a call right now. And it's totally messing this up right now. So give me 1 second. You think people will know that I'm going live? You think people will know that I'm going live? Wow, this phone call is lasting a very, very long time. The whole phone shook. Wow. All right, trying to find another good question. Are you going to be doing live game reactions this season? Maybe a couple. For the big games, maybe like of the Brady game. Trying to think of other big games. Maybe the I don't know. It all depends. I know I did a couple of those this past season. They were cool, but they were very, very long to do. They were definitely dragging. But, if a lot of people want them and a lot of people will show out to these live streams, then I'll do it, of course. Then I'll do it. But obviously, if we only have like 60 people, watching, it's like, is it worth it? But again, if a lot of people want me to do them and you guys will tune in, then I'll do them, of course. Obviously, I just can't show the actual game. Like I can't show the TV or the channel will get deleted due to copyright. So, but if a lot of people want them, yeah, I'll do live coverage. Real quick too, guys, like we have some just amazing PG merch. Like I just bought some and it just came in, and the quality of this merch is unexpectedly very nice. Like I was not expecting things to be, as nice as they were when it came to this merch. So real quick, I do want to let you guys know, if you do want to get some merch, support me and support the channel and just rock out to some merch, I'll just play the clip.
Before we do hop into today's video though, I do want to give you guys a little update that your boy has decided to update his merch. We do still have all of the old stuff along with some really good new ideas that I've been working on for the past couple weeks, and more ideas will be continue to be added. Like always, if you do buy merch, send me a picture of you rocking it. I will include you in the next video. Like always, link in the description box below.
And yeah, what he said. Not trying to gas up Mac. Yes, he has to learn the book, but everyone takes some time to develop regardless. You're totally right. Like I don't argue with any of that. You're not wrong about any single little thing you just said. I think people need to chill. Like I cannot stress this enough. I think too many people are hyping him up because he's a first round quarterback by Belichick, by the Patriots. Like, let's remember what happened with Nikhil Harry. And I'm not saying this is Nikhil Harry. Knock on wood, y'all. Knock on wood, this is not going to be Nikhil Harry. But, you know, everybody gassed him up. Ooh, first round receiver Belichick ever drafted. He is going to be a Hall of Famer, Pro Bowler. He's going to have 1,000 yards in his first 2 seasons. Like, okay. Like, let's chill a little bit. You know what I'm saying? And everybody gassed him up because of where he was drafted. And I think people are doing the same thing right now with Mac Jones for no reason. I think that he is showing promise, and I do think that there's a lot to look forward to. And I think that's the big word, look forward to. And I think too many people are looking right now rather than looking forward to things. He's not ready to start. He's not ready to start. And I can promise you that, and I confidently stand by that statement that he is not ready to start if the season started right now. Now, we'll have to see how he develops in training camp, and maybe by the end of the preseason, then he's ready because he is developing as each practice goes on. But if the season started today, he would not be ready. And I think too many people are gassing it up, and I've seen stuff on social media, whether it's Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, Reddit, everything, of people just gassing up where things don't need to be gassed up, and just finding reasons to gas him up. I think we got to keep it real. We got to keep it our expectations leveled, because the last thing we want is to have expectations way too high for him. He goes out, he struggles at first, maybe he makes some mistakes, and all of Pat's Nation riots. He's a bust. He sucks. You're commenting hate on his page. You're calling for his head. And now you just diminish the poor kid's future because now he has no confidence. And confidence is everything in the NFL. I mean, you talk about awareness, you talk about speed, you talk about strength, you talk about mental processing. I mean, you have to put confidence up there with all of those categories, all of those attributes, because if you have confidence, you play different. If you have confidence, you're playing as a top player. You're not thinking, you're not in your head. But if you don't have that confidence, your confidence is diminished. You're overthinking this, that. And should I do this? No. Well, they're not going to like that. Or what about, well, I don't want to risk. In football, you make split-second decisions. You have to. You don't have time to think. You don't have a second to think. You see it, you do it. And if a guy's confidence is diminished, he's going to be out the door. And I think that, to give a little throwback here, part of that happened to Cyrus Jones. I think Cyrus Jones came in, he had confidence, he looked good at first, he started to struggle a little bit, Pat's Nation hammered on him, things got worse because his confidence just went out the door, and as soon as that confidence went out the door, any bright spot I saw in Cyrus Jones also went out the door. So again, that's why I think you got to keep it tamed here with those expectations on these players. I know we're excited, and it's understandable. Give credit where credit is due. Give criticism where criticism is due, but don't ever hate on a player to hate on a player, and don't gas a player up just to gas a player up. You know what I'm saying? So I just think that needed to be said. Dalton H, shout out to you, my guy, for the donation here. Great, big $15 donation. Really, really, really appreciate it. Like I said, I tremendously, I really do appreciate each and every single one of you for donating. Like, just, I can't even find the words to just even process any of it. But you said, do they trade Harry before the start of the season? So me personally, and I've been thinking about this a lot, I think that if the Patriots trade Nikhil Harry, it's going to be like right before the start of the regular season. I think they want to see one last time, hey, is there anything that we can see that you've changed this offseason? From what I understand, he lost a little bit of weight. He looks a little bit faster. Nothing to brag about. Nothing that's going to change the game. But hey, do you look a little bit better at all? Something we can work with here. And hey, things didn't work out with Brady, really. Things aren't working out with Cam Newton. Any way they can work out with Mac Jones. I think that's another thing that they want to see is he's obviously the future. Is there any way y'all can have a chemistry built, and any way that you can get Nikhil Harry involved in a way the past two quarterbacks have not? So I think ultimately that's what they want to do, is just give this one last shot. And if things do not go well, I think that, right at the, beginning of the season or right before the start of the season, that is ultimately when I think that they could trade him. I do think that there's a good chance they do trade him. I think it's all just dependent on, one, how does Nikhil perform? But two, how do these other guys perform? How does Isaiah Zuber perform? Devin Ross, Christian Wilkerson? Because those guys definitely are giving Nikhil Harry a run for his money, and I promise you that. The question is that are they going to give him enough run for his money to the point where now we're talking about one or two of those guys making the final roster, which means Nikhil Harry has to be booted out. So that's my thoughts on that situation. Viral with another one. Let me get a drink real quick. Woo. Okay. But Viral, you said, Kobe, it's been a rough few days currently dealing with a broken hand. Also, you should hook up your boy with some merch. We in the same state. Yes, Viral, we are. I'm going to try to actually go to the Philly game, the preseason Patriots in Philly, and I'm going to try to hit up training camp in late July. So maybe I'll see you. Maybe I'll see you there. But man, you know where to find me. We always got videos. I think we're at like 810 uploads. So you ever feeling down, hit up. Go to some videos if you want to rewatch. We're in the live stream right now. I get it, man. I don't know what's going on in the world, but I feel like the last couple of weeks I've also been down. I've just not been me, sad, overthinking. Like I don't know. I feel like something happened with the world all of a sudden. Like we tipped over on our axis, and it's just like something just changed in a snap of a finger. And I don't know what it was or how it happened, but I know randomly a lot of people are feeling the same way. So, I think the best way to get through it, everybody's there for each other. Everybody understands each other's perspective, and we just take it easy, and we all just take things just one day at a time, But again, if you need anything personally, I'm there for not even just Viral, but anybody here in general. Trust me, y'all, I've been there. I've done that. I'm still there. I still do that. So you don't have to explain anything to me. Trust me. I talk about football, right? I talk about the Patriots. I come on here and talk to you guys and gas things up. But like at the end of the day, behind closed doors, I struggle just like everybody else. I deal with mental health issues just like everybody else. So trust me, I get it. Oh, shit. Come on. Get to the next dono. All right, there we go. Felipe popping out here with another donation. We love to see it. We love you, Felipe. Thank you. You said, calling it now, Sony Michel will have a great year. Last 2 years have been behind a hurt O-line. This year, our O-line will be top 5. Gilmore will be a top 5 corner again. I agree. I think if Gilmore comes back, he'll be a top 5 corner. I do think that the Patriots will have a top 3 offensive line, not even top 5. And let's remember too, like, wait, was that the year? No, yeah, that was the year Sony Michel had his great rookie season, was the year that Trent Brown was one of our starting tackles. So, I think Sony Michel really could have a good year. I don't expect him to be the lead back. I think he lost that, and I think Damien Harris rightfully owns that place now. But if he stays with the Patriots, I think he does still own that number 2 spot. He's still definitely going to get looks. Do not get me wrong. You're still going to see Sony Michel getting runs. And again, I agree. Like he looked good last year too. Like people don't understand that he still ran very, very well. His numbers were still very, very good. I think he was averaging over 4 yards per carry, but it goes underlooked because we're looking at Damien Harris a lot. He's now the lead guy. He's the number 1 guy. He's popping off and flashing, and Sony Michel's kind of yesterday's news. So people aren't really looking and putting too much stock into it, but you look at his runs, you look back, you look at the statistics, and he still did very, very, very good. And if he was the lead guy and Damien Harris wasn't in this picture, you would have seen it a lot more. So I definitely do agree with you. If Sony is here, he's going to have a really good year. I don't think he eclipses 1,000 yards or anything like that, but I'll say he has still a very, very, very good season. So Benji asks a good question. I believe I said that right. If you had to re-sign one, would it be Gilly or JC? It's tough, but let's say Gilmore only has 4 years max left. 4 years max. Probably JC Jackson. Is he a number 1 guy? I'm not sure, but he's damn well a high quality number 2 guy. And at the end of the day, I'd rather have stability with an upcoming talent and guy who can still develop in JC Jackson, who within his couple of decent seasons, like he's one of the best cornerbacks in the NFL. And I think you have to look for long-term stability also. I think Gilmore is a very good number 1 guy, but he's also in his, I don't know if he's 30 yet or if he's about to be 30, but he's going to be in his 30s either way. And he, again, only has a couple more seasons in the NFL at max, coming off a season-ending injury. I don't really think he gets better. You're not going to get a better version of the MVP caliber Stefan Gilmore. And are you even going to get that version of him? We'll have to see. I still think he's a top 10 tight end for the rest of his career, probably, unless he just takes his really big drop off. And I guess it all depends on what teams he goes to. Like if he stays with the Patriots for the rest of his career, then I do still think he plays as a top 10 cornerback no matter what. But again, I just think long-term stability, you give JC Jackson the deal because younger, more agile, more athletic at this point. So that's the guy I would go with. But at the end of the day, I'm not upset with either or. And I could see why you can make the argument for Stefan Gilmore because, hey, you're still going to get that, guaranteed number 1 starting caliber cornerback play from Stefan Gilmore versus question marks with JC Jackson. You still have Gilmore for a couple of years, and you can kind of mold another guy, into being that future potential guy. So again, you can make an argument for either one, but that's just kind of my thought process here. But y'all, we are running at about 1 hour and 4 minutes. Usually that's about the time that we do end the streams, do about an hour, a little over an hour. So I do appreciate each and every single one of you for being here, especially through all the little bit technical difficulties that we were having. I want to give a huge shout out to everybody that donated. You guys are goated. You guys really went that extra mile to support me and support the channel. Even if you didn't donate, don't act like I hate you guys or anything. Nothing but love to you guys just for being here, commenting, liking, subscribing. You guys just, each and every single one of you are helping me out in several different ways. But especially the people who went that extra mile to donate, or anybody in here who is a Patreon member. Shout out to you guys also. You guys are the best. And again, I would not be out here without you guys. You guys are helping me make this a living. And the more that I can actually make this a living, if I can be financially stable, better things are to come. And just so many things I want to do with this channel and make this just full time. So again, I appreciate you guys. You guys are what I do. But like always, at the end of the day, it all comes down to New England, all comes down to Belichick, all comes down to the Patriots. So without further ado, I am Patriots Global, and go Pats.